everybody, Carm here. Yeah, I know, back a little earlier than usual, a little sooner than usual. Just felt like continuing the theme somewhat from yesterday's video, talking about the early New Age music. I Am the Center. And got together a bunch of tapes, as the title indicates. I wanted to be explicit about the title being New Age music, because I know, talking about how the term can kind of turn people off or cause them to roll their eyes and everything. So for those of you who aren't normally interested, you know what you either want to avoid or maybe you're curious about hearing more of. And for those of you interested, you might already be familiar with some of this stuff, or it'll be something new. This is all from a label called Valley of the Sun from the 80s. Started by a fellow named Richard Sutphin, also known as Dick Sutphin. Started up publishing books and tapes, hypnosis and meditation tapes back then. And around the early 80s they expanded into music. And I've got about 20 tapes here I've accumulated from about the last 20 years or so, maybe 90, maybe a little longer, 91, 92. My dear friend Nancy had given me some of these tapes back then, and just over the years I've gradually accumulated them, and I've really enjoyed them. So I'll just quickly kind of go through them and just show you what I have. Chief among the artists on the label is this fellow named Robert Slapp, who also does a lot of engineering and sound work in general for the label. It's his first album here, Mystic Memories. You can see how they prominently displayed that it was New Age music even then. Of course, again, it could be considered a lot of other things. It's kind of a quirky 80s sound to a lot of these, understandably. Mostly synthesizer and electric and acoustic guitars. Search for Utopia, in quite a similar vein, and recorded around the same time. One of his better known albums, Atlantis Crystal Chamber, used a lot for meditation and healing seminars. Dick Sutphin himself is on this album. On side 2, reads a little poetry. This next one here might even be his best known one, Ascension to the All That Is. That's used a lot as a backdrop for readings and meditation sessions. And finally from him, the soundtrack to a nice documentary on Sedona in central Arizona. Also has a lot of footage from seminar, going between footage from a seminar he was doing with a bunch of people on kind of building up their psychic abilities, tuning into your psychic abilities. And it goes between that and just footage of the mountains. And, so if you find the video, it's well worth it. Another artist on the label, David Storrs. A similar vein to Robert Slapp. Guitars and synthesizers, Sedona Sunrise. I found this actually out in Arizona, I think in Flagstaff. It's a place I've been visiting since the mid-90s. My friend Nancy, who I mentioned before, she's the mom of one of my oldest and dearest friends, Steve, also known as Mo, since 5th grade. They moved out there in the mid-90s, and I've been visiting ever since. So that's part of the connection too with the music. Manifestations of the Pyramids. More synthesizer stuff. Very droney, this one. It's pretty good though. Channel for the Light. Sounds very Tangerine Dream influenced and inspired a lot of nice sequencer stuff from 84. And, I think that's all I have by this artist. A couple more here. Artist named David Nagal. Dreamscapes and Dreams of Atlantis. Both in a pretty similar vein. This one's actually a lot like Stephen Halpern. A lot of Fender Rhodes electric piano on there. It's a group called Upper Astral, which I'm not sure if they're an actual group or an artist, like one took it as a pseudonym, Upper Astral. This is one of the early ones, Crystal Cave. The first side almost sounds like a Lost Psych record, like maybe like Ashra Temple's Join In, or their very first album. Very kind of slow, a lot of voices kind of going in and out of the mix. It's pretty trippy. Journey to the Edge of the Universe. another Upper Astral. This is all synthesizer stuff, and appropriately spacey and cosmic. Astral Massage, as the title would indicate, it's probably their softest album. Very soothing. And the one that I have playing right now, Entrance to the Secret Lagoon. Really beautiful stuff, I feel. Very one of the more emotional releases. And the rest of the tapes I have here are not so much by single artists. Well, there are some compilations too. Galactic Odyssey by Celestial Odysseys. That's another one of those things. I think it might be a single artist. It doesn't really give much information. And very much of its time, very mid-80s, a lot of drum machine and stuff, but it's pretty fun. A lot of quirky aspects to these albums too, which I really like. New Age Gregorian Chants. This is actually the most recent one I found, and it's all digitally synthesized. They took actual vocals and digitally processed them with the technology they had at the time to kind of give like a sustained feel, like harmonic singing. So it's pretty nice stuff. This is an early compilation of, I think it's about 10 or 11 of the albums throughout the 80s. So it's a nice sampler, a nice overview of the whole label. The Eternal Om. Similar to the Gregorian Chants album, the techniques in which it was created. Nice sustained environment with the voices. This one was pretty funny. Aerobic exercise music. 1984, all electronic, kind of what you would expect, but it's good for some. It's good for fun. Got one more here. Awakened Dreaming. More electronic stuff. This is very much for meditation, definitely for headphones. Dick Sutphin himself does kind of a hypnosis induction thing on the first side, and then the second side is just the music itself. So yeah, if you really want to go out there, this is a good tape to do it with. Well, I just wanted to share these. It was something different I hadn't really shared before, and for those of you who are still watching, I appreciate it. I know it's not for everyone, but I hope if you see this insignia here, that's the Valley of the Sun logo, at least the one they were using at the time. And if you see it somewhere, see any of these cheap for a couple bucks, it'd be worth picking up, just out of curiosity, and you might like it. As a a calming influence. Listening a little bit earlier to one of Trisha's VCLT mixes. It's pretty fun. I don't have much upbeat, danceable music, so it's just, if I'm in a situation where I need to play something that's more, along this vein, it's a good thing to do it with. So, and thank you again for this. Well, that'll about do for this time. Just wanted to share some tapes, all these tapes here. About 20 years worth of collecting, about 20 tapes here. So, well, thank you all for watching. Love to hear comments, and until next time, peace, love, joy, and life.